listening to what Brij Bhushan Singh had told us. He remains defiant, labeling the allegations against him just a matter of good touch and bad touch. Listen in.
भाइयों, ये जो मुकदमा है, ये छुआछूत का मुकदमा है, छुआछूत का मुकदमा है, सही छुआ कि गलत छुआ।
You know, you have Brij Bhushan Singh, someone who's been a Tada detainee in the past, someone who self-confessed to murder on camera. He represents in a way the power of a 6-time MP, but also the way in which officials have run federations. Do you believe, therefore, Pradeep Magazine, the problem is that eventually those in power stand by their own, and therefore the wrestlers, despite bringing glory to the country, are in an unequal battle when you're taking on someone like Brij Bhushan Singh. That's why they are forced to resort to what Nikhil called these kind of event management. Will throw our medals into the river.
Rajdeep, one has to admire the courage shown by these wrestlers that they came out openly, knowing that who are they dealing with, because he has been the president there for many years. They know how powerful he is. So obviously they couldn't take any more, and they came out openly to challenge them, and they probably thought that they have done enough for the country that people or the establishment will listen to them. Now the problem here is that you have politicians, part of the establishment, who are ruling federations. You have a cricket board which is in a similar situation. And why those cricketers, I'm not justifying, they should take a stand, because there is a stage in your life where you have to take a stand, and especially cricketers who have achieved enough that even the state will fear touching them. Why can't they speak? Obviously they can't speak, as Nikhil is saying, and we all know why, because of the same simple reason that they feel that they will be targeted. Fine, but there are people. Muhammad Ali won an Olympic gold medal. He threw his medal in a river. He took many other stands later when he probably is the greatest athlete world has seen. And yet he took many stands, and today if he is admired, he is as much admired for his boxing skills as he is admired for taking on the establishment.
I take your point, but you see what has happened, Neeru, Bhatia, and people are already putting it out on my timeline saying, are we saying that on the basis of allegations made by these wrestlers, there should be an immediate arrest? Their argument is, now that an FIR has been filed, now that there are investigations, should the wrestlers back off and give the government some time? Otherwise, they say, inevitably they will be caught in this political crossfire.
Rajdeep, I'm not talking about an arrest, but call him in for an interrogation at least. And secondly, who cares? I mean, why should cricketers talking or not talking or taking a stand really be important here? Isn't the word of Olympic medalists or the Olympic community enough? I mean, these people have achieved so much for the country, for God's sake. And secondly, yeah, you can call Brij Bhushan Sharan in and interrogate him. There's no stopping. I mean, we did that in the match.
They're calling for his arrest. How many people were arrested? They are saying arrest him in the next 5 days. That's almost like that's like setting a deadline to the police.
Maybe, but at least let's start with calling him in and doing a proper interrogation. Like, even during the match fixing scandal, Mr. Magazine would know that very well. Nobody was arrested, but they were grilled for hours and hours, and none was spared. All the names that were being talked about were called upon. So let's just start somewhere. Here, this man is not
a regular FIR.
Also, there is one which is under the POCSO Act that calls for arrest.
If it's led to immediate arrest in other cases, why not this one, as she points out?
Yeah, fair enough.
That's the same point I want to raise.
Yes.
I mean, there is a law of the land. I mean, you're not following the law of the land. They have registered a case. The charge is such that there is immediate arrest for it. And they have not. That man is roaming around and threatening the wrestlers. That
Yeah.
is another crime. There should be another FIR against him for that.